Before we begin, take a deep breath. This video is not about charts or indicators or secret strategies. It's about the part of trading no one wants to face, the war within. Every trader knows that moment, when the loss hits harder than expected, and something inside whispers, "Get it back." That whisper is the beginning of destruction. It's the voice of revenge, quiet, convincing, and deadly. But what if you could silence it? What if you could end the endless cycle of emotional trading in just 7 days? In this journey, I'll take you through a process, a mental reset built from real behavioral psychology and tested through real trading pain. You'll learn the 3-rule protocol that can stop revenge trading before it even starts. No motivational noise, no quick fixes, just psychological clarity and discipline, the foundations of every consistent trader. So wherever you are, at your desk, in your car, or sitting in silence after a loss, know this: the next few minutes might change the way you see trading forever. Welcome to Mind Over Markets, where we don't trade charts, we trade consciousness. Have you ever felt it? That sinking feeling right after a losing trade. The moment when your heart races faster than your mind can think. You stare at the screen, replaying what just happened. One candle, one impulsive entry, and now you're down again. You tell yourself, "I can get it back," that it was just bad timing, that the market was unfair, manipulated, rigged against you. And before you know it, your finger is already hovering over the mouse. You don't even remember clicking buy or sell again. It just happens. This is the loop. The invisible loop that destroys traders, not because of bad analysis, but because of a single emotion: revenge. Revenge trading isn't just about wanting your money back. It's about wanting your control back. You lost a trade and now your mind demands justice. It wants to prove something to the market, to the chart, to yourself. But the market doesn't care. It's indifferent, completely emotionless. And that's why it wins again and again. Revenge trading is one of the deepest wounds in the psychology of trading, because it doesn't come from greed. It comes from pain. You see, your brain isn't built for trading. It's built for survival. When you lose something valuable, money, status, pride, your primitive brain treats it as a threat, not to your account balance, but to your identity. The same part of your brain that reacts to danger reacts to losing a trade. It releases cortisol. It floods you with adrenaline. Your logical thinking shuts down and your emotional mind takes over the wheel. You are no longer trading the market. You're trading your emotions. And when that happens, the screen in front of you becomes a battlefield, not between bulls and bears, but between you and yourself. This is why the same trader who can trade perfectly well on a demo account suddenly falls apart in real conditions. Because demo trading doesn't trigger fear, it doesn't trigger ego, it doesn't awaken that part of you that whispers, "I can't be wrong." Every revenge trade is a negotiation with pain, a desperate attempt to silence the inner critic that screams after a loss. You don't want to make money at that moment. You want to feel whole again. But here's the paradox. The more you try to win back what you lost, the deeper the hole becomes. You overtrade. You increase your position size. You move stop losses, rationalizing that it will turn around. And each time the market humbles you further. Then comes the guilt, the self-blame, the late-night reflection, staring at your empty chart, wondering how you could be so reckless. But you weren't reckless. You were emotional. You were human. Revenge trading isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of humanity trapped inside a high-speed, high-stakes environment where milliseconds can cost hundreds of dollars. You are wired to react, not to wait. And that's exactly what the market exploits. When you chase the loss, you are not chasing money. You are chasing relief. Relief from the shame. Relief from the disbelief that this just happened. relief from that ache in your chest that says you failed again. But trading isn't about relief. It's about resilience. And resilience can't exist until you stop treating your trades as a reflection of your worth. You are not your last loss. You are not your win rate. You are not the number in the corner of your MT4 screen. You are a decision maker. And decision makers must learn to pause. That's where the healing begins, in the pause between the loss and the next impulse. But most traders never find that pause. They live inside what I call the pain loop, a psychological feedback system where every loss triggers an emotional reaction. That reaction creates a new loss, and that new loss reinforces the same emotional pattern. It's not random. It's conditioning. The same way Pavlov's dogs learn to salivate at the sound of a bell, you've trained your brain to react to loss with action. Instant, emotional, irrational action. That's why you can't stop. Because stopping feels worse than losing. Stopping forces you to sit with the pain. And that for most traders is unbearable. So you trade again, not because you have a setup, but because silence feels heavier than another loss. You're not addicted to trading. You're addicted to escaping yourself. But awareness changes everything. Because once you can see the pattern, you can begin to break it. And that's what we're going to do together. Over the next 7 days, I'll show you how to reprogram your response to loss, how to build the pause, and how to reclaim control over your mind. This isn't about strategy. It's about identity. Because until you fix the person behind the trades, no system, no indicator, no risk-reward ratio will ever save you. There are 3 rules, simple but not easy. They will test your patience, your honesty, and your self-control. But if you follow them, they will rewire your psychology, quiet your impulses, and return you to the calm state of a professional trader. A state where losses are information, not threats, where emotions are acknowledged, not obeyed, and where discipline is no longer a punishment, it's protection. You can stop revenge trading, not by force, but by understanding the mind that created it. You are not broken. You're just reacting to pain the way every human does, automatically, instinctively, unconsciously. But awareness gives you choice, and choice is power. So let's begin this journey. Let's go deeper into the mind of the trader, not to control it, but to understand it. Because understanding yourself is the first step toward mastering the market. Now that you understand the pain loop, it's time to step out of it. Not by force, but through awareness and structure. Because without structure, awareness fades. Your mind understands the lesson, but your emotions forget it the moment a chart moves against you. That's why you need a protocol, something simple, repeatable, unshakable. Something that replaces emotional reaction with deliberate response. I call it the 3-rule protocol. 3 behaviors that retrain your brain to detach from chaos and return to clarity. 3 psychological anchors that will hold you steady when the market tries to pull you back into revenge. They are not tactics. They are habits built day by day through repetition and reflection. Let's begin. Rule 1, the 20-minute rule. Every time you take a loss, your brain releases cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate rises. Your focus narrows. Your judgment collapses. In that moment, your nervous system is hijacked. And any trade placed under hijack is a gamble, not a decision. So the rule is simple. After every losing trade, step away for 20 minutes. No exceptions, no analysis, no screens. Just 20 minutes of distance to let the chemical storm inside you settle. When you walk away, you tell your brain something powerful. I'm in control now. It's not the 20 minutes that matter. It's the message. You are teaching yourself that loss does not require reaction, that stillness can follow pain, that calm is an option. At first, it will feel uncomfortable, like quitting before the fight is over. Your ego will whisper, get back in, You can fix it, but that voice is the same one that cost you thousands before. Every time you resist it, you reclaim a piece of your discipline. You train your brain to delay gratification. And delay is the antidote to revenge, because revenge feeds on immediacy. Pause starves it. During those 20 minutes, breathe. Feel your pulse slow down. Notice the space between the urge to act and the act itself. That space is where mastery lives. Rule 2. The two-loss rule. No matter how good your system is, no matter how clear the setup looks, 2 consecutive losses in a day means one thing: you are no longer objective. The first loss stings. The second loss blinds. Beyond that, you are trading your emotions, not your edge. So the rule is absolute. If you hit 2 losses in a day, you stop trading completely. You close the platform, you walk away, you live to trade another day. This is not surrender. It is strategy. Professional traders don't measure strength by how long they fight. They measure it by how quickly they stop when their clarity disappears. Discipline is not punishment, it's protection. The market will still be here tomorrow. Your capital will still be here tomorrow. But your composure, that's the asset that must be guarded above all. Each time you obey the 2-loss rule, you rewire your identity. You shift from being a reactive player to being a strategic operator, someone who manages both capital and consciousness. You start to believe, I can stop when I choose, and that belief is freedom. Because revenge trading is not about money, it's about the feeling of being trapped in motion. When you prove to yourself that you can pause, you take back the only real control you ever had: self-control. Rule 3, the journal reflection. Rule: every trader says they keep a journal, but few use it for what truly matters. They record entries and exits, profits and losses, setups and statistics, but they forget to document the most volatile variable of all, themselves. The journal reflection rule asks you to write every day 3 simple sentences. First, what did I feel after my last trade? Second, what did I learn about that feeling? Third, how will I respond differently next time? That's it. 3 sentences. No numbers, no charts, no performance metrics, just honesty. This practice is not for data, it's for awareness. Because writing forces clarity. It turns emotion into language and language into understanding. When you can describe your emotions, you are no longer ruled by them. You begin to see patterns: that anger comes after overconfidence, that fear follows size increase, that guilt arises when you break your own rules. You start to realize that the market isn't your enemy. Your unobserved mind is. The journal becomes your mirror. And every reflection makes you less reactive, more deliberate, more awake. With time, your brain learns that reflection follows loss, not retaliation. That awareness is the closure, not another trade. This rewiring doesn't happen overnight, but every sentence you write builds a new neural path from impulse to introspection. The more you write, the more distance you create between emotion and execution. And distance is discipline. These 3 rules form a single structure: pause, limit, reflect. Together they convert chaos into calm. They transform the trader's instinct from reaction to response. They rebuild the emotional circuitry that revenge trading destroyed. Most traders look for freedom in profits, but freedom begins with boundaries. The 20-minute rule gives you time to heal. The 2-loss rule gives you permission to rest. The journal reflection rule gives you insight to evolve. They are not about perfection, they are about pattern breaking. Each rule interrupts the loop in a different way. The first stops physiological panic, the second stops behavioral momentum, and the third stops psychological denial. When you combine them, you no longer trade from pain. You trade from presence. Presence is the silent power beneath every consistent trader. It's not excitement. It's not euphoria. It's stillness, the ability to watch price move without feeling personally moved. Imagine what happens when your mind reaches that state. Losses become feedback, not wounds. Wins become data, not validation. The market becomes a mirror, not a judge. This is what the three-rule protocol does. It doesn't change your strategy. It changes the operator behind the strategy, because the market rewards psychological precision more than technical perfection. When you practice these rules day after day, your nervous system starts to trust you again. It no longer fears that you will sabotage yourself. It starts to relax. And from that relaxation comes clarity. You begin to trade slower. You wait longer. You stop forcing outcomes. You start listening not to indicators, but to the subtle language of patience. That's when you realize that risk management is not about stop losses and position sizing. It's about emotional containment, keeping your mind within the boundaries where logic can still speak. When emotions run unchecked, even the best system will crumble. When emotions are managed, even an average system can thrive. That's the paradox of trading. Success is less about predicting price and more about preventing self-destruction. So every time you apply these three rules, remind yourself you are not becoming robotic. You are becoming reliable. Reliability is what separates professionals from gamblers. Professionals don't avoid emotion. They respect it, they observe it, they name it, they let it pass. Gamblers chase emotion. They need it, the rush, the thrill, the revenge. The difference is subtle but everything. One trades the market, the other trades their mood. You are here to learn how to trade the market again, to return to neutrality, to return to peace. The three-rule protocol is not just a method, it's a meditation. Each pause, each limit, each reflection, it's a reminder that you are not your impulses. You are the observer of them. And the observer always has a choice. So from this moment on, let these three rules be your compass. Whenever you lose a trade, remember rule 1, step away. Whenever you hit 2 losses, remember rule 2, stop completely. Whenever the day ends, remember rule 3, write honestly. These are not restrictions. They are gateways to self-mastery, to clarity, to consistency. Follow them for 7 days. 7 days of discipline will show you more about your mind than 7 months of trading without it. And once you complete those 7 days, you'll be ready for the next phase, the 7-day psychological reset, where the real transformation begins. For the next 7 days, you will begin a quiet experiment, not with the market, but with your own mind. 7 days to unlearn the reflex of revenge, to build stillness where chaos once lived. 7 days to remember what control truly feels like. Do not rush this. The purpose is not speed, it is awareness. Each day has a focus, a question, a single step toward the trader you are becoming. Day 1, awareness. Today you do not fight the urge to revenge trade, you simply watch it. Every time you lose and feel the surge to strike back, pause and notice. Where does it live in your body? Is it in your chest, your stomach, your throat? Feel it without judgment. You are not the emotion. You are the one observing it. Write it down. I felt the urge to act. Awareness is the first separation between you and the pattern. Day 2, the pause. Today practice the 20-minute rule with discipline. Each time you close a losing trade, step away. Do not analyze, do not scroll, do not fix. Go outside, breathe. Let the world remind you that there is life beyond the chart. When you return, notice how the urgency has softened. That softening is the mind relearning safety. That is the foundation of confidence. Day 3, boundaries. Implement the 2-loss rule. If you lose twice, stop completely. Your ego will argue. It will say you can't quit now, but today quitting is strength. You are not surrendering, you are preserving clarity. Say to yourself quietly, I end on my terms. That sentence rewires your brain more than any prophet ever could. Day 4, reflection. Begin your journal ritual. Answer the 3 questions. What did I feel? What did I learn? What will I do differently tomorrow? Do not edit the truth. Honesty heals faster than denial. When you write, you bring emotion into daylight, and in daylight, emotion loses its control. Day 5, observation. Today, watch your thoughts as you trade. Notice the small voice that predicts failure or demands revenge. Do not silence it. Study it. Every thought is just data. You are learning the language of your subconscious. When you can listen without reacting, you have reached the beginning of mastery. Day 6, detachment. Place one trade with total neutrality. Before entering, whisper, I accept whatever happens, and mean it. If it wins, breathe. If it loses, breathe again. Either outcome is feedback, not identity. This is what emotional freedom feels like, not the absence of feeling, but the absence of attachment. Day 7, integration. Review your week, read your notes. Notice the difference between the person who began and the one reading now. You have seen the pattern, paused, the reaction, set boundaries, reflected, observed, detached, and integrated. That is transformation. You did not conquer the market. You conquered reactivity. You replaced the impulse to control with the ability to choose. Now, as you stand here at the end of this 7-day reset, understand something profound. You have not eliminated emotion. You have befriended it. Fear still visits. Anger still knocks. But now you greet them with awareness instead of resistance. You no longer trade to escape them. You trade while they pass through you like waves moving around a stone that never moves. That stone is your presence. From this state, you will notice a quiet confidence returning. Your breathing slows. Your decisions become deliberate. You stop chasing setups that aren't there. You start waiting for the market to come to you. That waiting, that patience is power. Because every successful trader eventually realizes that consistency is not born from prediction, but from peace. Peace allows logic to breathe. Peace keeps your risks small and your focus wide. Peace is what transforms random results into a long-term edge, and the source of that peace is you, not the chart, not the strategy, not the outcome, just you, quiet, aware, steady. The truth is, the market is never your opponent. It is your mirror. It reflects your discipline, your fear, your patience, your pride. Every candle, every spike, every false breakout, it's speaking your psychology back to you. And when you learn to listen without ego, you realize that every loss was a lesson in self-awareness. Every win was proof that clarity pays. So as you move forward, remember the essence of this entire journey. Rule 1, pause. Rule 2, stop. Rule 3, reflect. These 3 actions are not temporary techniques. They are lifelong anchors. There will be days you forget them, days when emotion wins. That's okay, because mastery is not perfection. It is returning faster every time you fall. Each reset makes the loop weaker. Each reflection makes the pause longer. Each choice makes the pattern lose power. Until one day you look at a losing trade and feel nothing but curiosity. That day you are free. Free from revenge, free from chaos. Free to trade as a conscious, calm participant in a market that rewards patience and punishes noise. So take a breath. Look at the chart one more time. Not to predict it, but to see yourself within it. Because when you master your mind, you master your risk. And when you master your risk, you master your future. The market doesn't owe you recovery, but your discipline will return everything you once lost in time. Trust the process, trust the pause, and trust that the trader you are becoming is already waiting inside you, quietly, patiently, powerfully. This is the end of revenge trading and the beginning of mastery. If you've made it this far, you already understand something most traders never do, that markets don't punish your analysis, they punish your impulses. Revenge trading is not a technical error, it's an emotional one. And now you have the tools to end it. Pause, stop, reflect. Follow the 3-rule protocol for 7 days and watch how your relationship with trading begins to shift. You'll start to see that risk doesn't have to create fear and loss doesn't have to create chaos. You'll realize that every chart, every candle, every decision is a mirror reflecting your inner state. And once you control that state, you no longer need to fight the market because you've already mastered yourself. If this message resonated with you, share it with another trader who's still trapped in the loop. You might help them find the same freedom you've just begun to feel. And remember, the quiet mind always wins. This is Mind Over Markets. Trade consciously, trade calmly, and I'll see you in the next one.